Alright, so this is a test.
Are you
Skipping through
recording?
history. We are on our way to Germany. We're trying out the gimbal thing.
Let's see. How do I sound? Okay. Hi.
That's my beautiful assistant. Oh no. Oh god. What did we just do? Just arrived in Berlin. It's happening. Yay. Hey guys, good morning. Jason Skipper here with Skipping Through History. It is our second day here in Berlin, and we are in front of the world-famous Brandenburg Gate. This is what was kind of the symbol of dividing East and West Berlin. There was a big wall in front of this, and a lot of the famous pictures that you see about the Berlin Wall coming down and various other rallies happened here. When you walk through, you basically are walking through what was the former West Berlin into the East Berlin. Hold on, I screwed that up. East Berlin into the West Berlin. You can tell the difference in the landscape when you walk through, but this is a really cool square, so I'm going to step back. Hey guys, skipping through history here. I am in front of the Reichstag. This, of course, was the home of the German government for a number of years prior to World War II, and then famously was burnt down while Adolf Hitler was chancellor. They blamed it on a communist, and it was what Hitler was able to convince Paul von Hindenburg to give him basically full totalitarian power to, quote, protect Germany. So this part, of course, has been restored, and on the top there is the dome that you can see, but here is the famous Reichstag. We're inside of the Reichstag. Hello. Hey everyone, it's Jason Skipper with Skipping Through History. I am in Berlin and we are at the Soviet War Memorial. Once the Soviet soldiers invaded Berlin and were able to conquer it and had VE Day in May 1945, they almost immediately built a memorial to themselves and congratulated themselves for winning the war. This actually ended up being in West Berlin, which was of course occupied by the capitalists, but it actually holds human remains. If you look right there, that is one of the burial sites, and destroying a monument that has human remains is known as an act of war. So basically the West Berliners, the Americans, British, and the French did not destroy this monument, and it still exists. I'm going to turn around and take a few close-up videos of it so you can actually see that there's a lot of Soviet propaganda praising themselves, not giving any acknowledgement to any of the other groups that helped fight in Europe and especially fight in Germany. But again, it's quite a monumental thing. Hey guys, Jason Skipper was skipping through history. I am at the Jewish Memorial in Berlin. This was for all the Jews who died in World War II. It was created by an American architect, finished in 2004, opened to the public in 2005. Pretty controversial in that there are not a lot of descriptions. If you look on the blocks, there are no names or anything like that. There's spaces in different sizes. And it all represents something. I wonder if you guys can guess what it is supposed to represent. But we're gonna go ahead and take a little walk through so you can kind of see and catch back with you on the other side. All right, so any guesses on what this represents? What all these blocks are supposed to represent? Well, the truth is there's actually no meaning to it. The architect of this didn't want to have any meaning to it. He said he wanted it to be something where when you walk inside you reflect and it makes you think about what it all represents. The only significance is that there are 2,711 of these blocks, and that is the exact amount of pages that are in the Torah, the Jewish holy book. Again, the Jewish Memorial to represent the over 6 million Jews who died in World War II. Alright guys, skipping through history once again, and we are at the location of where the most evil human being in all of history died. Yes. It is currently an apartment parking lot, but right below where I am right now, right here, was Adolf Hitler's bunker, where him and Eva Braun committed suicide. He shot himself in the head after taking cyanide pills, and then his body was brought up to the surface and burned with Eva Braun. They tried to destroy the bunker a number of times. The Soviets did. They were unable to. It then was just buried and lost, and it was eventually recovered again in the 90s, where they officially destroyed all of it and built this apartment complex. So it is meant to be somewhat discreet so that no one comes back to, I don't know, do anything to it. But ultimately, it is now again a parking lot. But I'm standing where, again, Adolf Hitler committed suicide, died, and was essentially the end of World War II in Europe. Hey guys, skipping through history back here in Berlin. Wanted to show you some things that are in a lot of European cities. Let's see if I can see it here. It's these kind of goldish looking bronze plates here. Let's see if you can see them close up. You can find those all throughout Europe, and those are actually indications of where Jewish people lived, and that they were then taken by the Nazis from those locations and brought to concentration camps. So you can find these in Italy, you can find them in the Netherlands, Poland, unfortunately pretty much all throughout Europe. And they still exist today. So when you're walking around Europe and you see those, check them out, read them. It shows who the names are of the people, when they were born, when they were taken. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see, but the two lines there represent where the Berlin Wall used to be. And you can find this all throughout the city. They made notations of it, indications of it, so you can see here we are, the Brandenburg Gate, and here's where the wall was right here. You were not allowed, obviously, to go in any of that area. That was a buffer zone, unless now this is part of the wall. All right, guys, this is a unrestored part of the Berlin Wall. It's right by the Topography of Terror Museum. I don't know if I'll get a chance to go to that on this trip, but just wanted to show you guys what it actually looks like, unrestored part. Hi everyone, skipping through history. It is day 3 in Berlin. We are at the East Side Gallery. It is a portion of the wall that is still standing, and as you can tell, it has a lot of graffiti on it. It's known for this actually, and is now more or less a tourist attraction site. And the other side has a bunch of cool little murals and everything too. But again, just a real famous part of Berlin that is, again, the Berlin Wall. Large portion that's still standing. You can tell that there's very much an empty area on one side of it, of course, to prevent people from crossing over. But let's take a look at all the cool art. All right, guys, we made it to Berlin, skipping through history here. We are, perfect timing. We are in front of the Berlin Dome, the Berlin Church, one of the few things not destroyed by the Russians after they came in and took it over following World War II. I am going to do a little panorama so you can see there's also an art museum here, right there behind me. Pretty sweet. Here, I'm just gonna get out of the way so you can see the church. Is that right? There. Look at that. All right, guys, we are in one of the main squares of Berlin. It is now home to Humboldt University, which has produced 29 Nobel Prize winners. But why it's important here is because right behind me used to be the National Library of Berlin. And in 1933, Goebbels came in with a bunch of pro-Nazi supporting students, some Hitler Youth, and they stormed the library and they took out 25,000 books that they believed were, of course, against the Nazi beliefs. So the books written by Jews, books that supported capitalism, democracy, and they burned them right there. Okay, 25,000 books were burned in 1933, and it was really the beginning of the intolerance that was going to be shown by the Nazis for not just books and other types of arts, but also, of course, people.